What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53, the Village Storyteller. And I'm back again, man. It's story time. Yes, it's story time. It is story time. Um, as y'all know, I'm not finna give y'all no heads up. Cause Foundation, y'all too slick, man. You too smart. I give you something in the title, and next thing you know, y'all telling me what the story is. Cause y'all smart, man. Y'all are the Foundation Nation, man. Yeah, y'all too smart for me, man. But anyway, with no further ado, I'ma jump right off into the story and go from there. You know? Cool. Man, listen. This story here takes place in a galaxy far, far away. No, not for real. Hey, man, I'm a Star Wars fan, y'all. Don't be mad at me. I'm a Star Wars fan. But anyway, but no. man, this takes place, the main scene on the side of a highway, coming out of Indiana. Coming out of Indiana. It's late, it's dark, and it's raining. And you know, certain parts back up in them ways, they got them lonely highways, them dark highways. Man, it's pitch black dark. You have a lot of cars flying and going. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, people are very leery about picking up hitchhikers. They don't know what they're getting into. A lot of people would love to help. They would love to help, but they just don't know. People coming up dead, missing, the whole hookup. Nobody wants to be a part of an Amber Alert. Nobody wants to be a part of an Amber Alert. So what do? They drive right past you. Me personally, I have picked up hitchhikers in the past to help them. You know what I'm saying? Help them. Mostly, it might be it's hot and you might have a old lady, man, with a basket pushing. The last person I picked up was an old lady, man. She had a basket, but she had her grandson with her, man. Her grandson couldn't have been no more than about 11 years old. And they were struggling up a hill. And I had to pull over and tell them, look, get in. Wherever y'all going, I got you. But anyway, back to the lesson at hand. Man, it's dark, man. And the girl, she looked to be no more than about 22, 23. She's on the side of the highway and it's raining. I'm talking about that hard rain. Man, that raining that come down so hard that it coming sideways seem like. Because the air is blowing. You know what I'm saying? The wind factor's up. And she has on a raincoat. A lot of people, the kind of raincoat she has on is called a slicker. You know what I'm saying? It has the hood on it and it's fully all the way down to her ankles. She got on a slicker. And the property that she had, she kind of had it up under the slicker and she's walking with it. And she, every time a car come by, she's giving them the thumb, trying to get a ride. Nobody was picking her up. She had been walking for a long time. A car came by. A station wagon. And, she had, when she seen it, she had high hopes. Because 9 times out of 10, a station wagon has family people in it, family type people that might be kind enough to help her. And so when it was coming, she was looking back and she giving it to him. Station wagon flew past her. But it drove no more than about 20, 30 feet and it stopped. And she's looking at it. And the lights come on in the back, the reverse lights. And the car started backing up. And she was like, oh, wow, finally some help. So when she ran up on the car, the passenger side window came down and she leaned in. And it was a single white male. And he looked to be about in his mid to late 40s. She couldn't really tell how tall he was. But if she had to guess, she would think he was about 5'10", 5'11", maybe. No more than about 170 pounds. So anyway, when she leaned into the car and she looking at him, the guy asked her, he had a kind of like deep baritone voice. He asked her, which way you going? And she said she was heading to Chicago. And so he told her, he said, well, look, I can't take you all the way to Chicago, but I could take you as far down as I'm going. And she was like, well, okay. You know what I'm saying? Any little bit helps. I just need to get out. I need to just get out from out this rain, out this weather, and just, I just need a ride. So he told her, like, hop in. So she was, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So she opened up the car door, she gets in, she sits down. So before she get in, she pulled her little bag that she had from up under her slicker. She set it in the front seat. Then she got in, she pulled the door up, and they proceeded to drive off. So he looked at her. He like, what's your name? And she told her, she said, my name is Camille. So he like, how you doing, Camille? I'm Steve. So she's like, well, thank you, Steve. How you doing? And they shook hands. So he asked her. He looked at her. He like, how long you been out in the cold? How long you been hitchhiking? She said, oh, I've been hitchhiking for so long. He like, well, where are you from? And she said, I'm originally from Los Angeles, but I have family in Chicago that I'm trying to get to. So he was like, okay. You're trying to reach your loved ones. And she was like, yeah. So he told her, he said, I can understand that. So they drove, man, they drove for about 20 minutes. And, they had a little banter, little chit chat going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, the girl, Camille, excuse me, she was real small, real small. In fact, she was no bigger than about 5'3". She might have weighed 105 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Soaking wet. And he asked her, he asked her, Camille, how old are you? And she told him she was 23. He thought that she was a lot younger than that. And he was like, okay. He said, I thought you were very young. And she said, I get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because of her smooth face. She had flawless dark skin. She was cocoa caramel brown complexioned, had long eyelashes, and she looked like a 13-year-old at the most. And so anyway, they driving along, had a lot of small talk going still. So as they were driving, Camille, a feeling came over her. Now, she had these feelings before, and every time she'd had these feelings before, it meant danger was around. Danger was around. So she looked around, and she looked at Steve. Steve wasn't looking at her. He was just driving. And when the feeling became stronger and stronger, she felt it was time for her to get out the car. And she felt it was time, let me get away from him just in case. I don't know, so just let me get away from him just in case. So they were passing by a gas station. Like I say, it's nighttime. It's about 11, 12 o'clock at night. And it was a gas station coming up. And so Camille told, she say, thank you, Steve. You can let me out right here at the gas station. So Steve actually like, the gas station. She's like, you're trying to go to Chicago, right? And she was like, yeah. He like, well, I'm still going further toward that direction. Why would you want to get out at the gas station? She said, well, I just need to get out at the gas station. I got to use their phone. It's some people I got to call that's very, very important. So he told her, like, no, look, well, I got a phone if you want to use it. And she was like, well, I don't know. She said, well, you know what? Don't worry about it. If you can, just let me out at the gas station. So Steve, he looked at her. And the look he gave her sent a chill down her back. When they got to the gas station, instead of Steve stopping and letting her out, he pressed down on the gas and flew past it. So when he flew past it, Camille, she looking out the window, she looking at him, she said, hey, wait. You're supposed to let me out at the gas station. He told her, just relax. You'll be okay. Just relax. I'm gonna get you almost to where you're trying to go. Just be relaxed. Just relax. She was like, no, 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 let me out. I wanted to go there. I wanted to go. So she turned to act like she was gonna reach for the door handle. Steve locked the car from his side. Clunk, clunk. Now, when Camille heard the car locked, all her fears rose up in her. This was the danger feeling that she had got. You know, Camille was special. Camille was always able to feel certain things that other people couldn't feel. She was able to see certain things that a lot of other people couldn't see. When she was a child, her mother would sometimes come into the room and she would be sitting in the middle of the floor and she would be talking, and her mother would be coming into the room and wonder who, she would come in, Camille, baby, who you talking to? And Camille would just look at her. And so her mother would ask her sometimes, who are you talking to? And she would say, my friend. And her mother would look around, what friend? And so, she understood at an early age that her mother couldn't see her friend. Her mother couldn't see her friend. But she could. So, she went through that. Her friend would always help her. Her friend would show up and tell her, no, don't go that way, don't go this way. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this, don't do that, do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, her friend would be a little late on the help or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But she became accustomed to her friend. As she got older, she would try to tell her mother and her family about her friend. And her mother would always tell her, look, don't talk like that. Don't say that. You know what I'm saying? People going to try to take you away from me. People don't try to do this, do that. They're going to think you crazy. And so her mother stayed down on her so hard at a young age that she learned to ignore her friend. She learned to stop paying her friend any attention. So the more she ignored her friend and didn't pay attention and tried to block her friend out, the less and less her friend would come. Until it seemed like one day her friend just stopped coming. Her friend just stopped coming. And she went on for years. But yet and still, she would get in trouble at school, and you know what I'm saying, she started getting in trouble at home to the point to where she started running away a lot. Camille would run away. She would run away. Her mother would spend money to find her, bring her home, and this, that, and the other. And so here it is now. Camille's mother told her that, she couldn't handle her no more. That she's sending her to Chicago to stay with her father. Camille didn't want to go. Camille ended up running away. Man, they searched for Camille. They looked for Camille. They couldn't find her. Camille stayed gone for almost 2 weeks, and they finally found her. And it was so much of a hoopla, so much of a mess. She hurt her mother so much, and she ended up telling her mother, she said, you know what, okay, I'll go to Chicago, because she loved her mother. I'll go to Chicago. And so the thing with going to Chicago, she wanted to go on her own. The day she was supposed to leave with the bus ticket that her mother had for her, she couldn't be found. Camille couldn't be found. Camille had made it her business to leave and accept life on her terms. She wanted to get there the best way she can without no one helping her. Camille was weird that way, y'all. She was kind of weird that way. She wanted to get there the best way she could without nobody helping her. So Camille started hitchhiking. She figured, at least I want to see some of the country before I get there, because there's no telling what it was going to be. She had heard stories about her father. Her father was a ex-military. He was very strict, very stern. She in her mind, she figured what type of environment she was finna go to. So she said, you know what? Before I get there, I'm just gonna make it there on my own, seeing different states, different parts of the country, different people. Camille started hitchhiking. And that's what she had been doing. Her mother was looking for her. Father was looking for her. They couldn't find her. In fact, it was an Amber Alert out on her. But it just, no, the people that would come through hitchhiking would see her. They never noticed her. Yeah, they didn't recognize who she was. She had got stopped by the police one time, and the police recognized her. And he told her, he said, "Look, I got to take you into custody. It's an Amber Alert on you. I have to take you into custody." And so Camille was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm cool. I'm all right. You ain't got to take me into nothing. I'm all right." So she started backing up. And the officer was like, "No, no, no, no. Come here." And he stepped to her and he ran and he grabbed her before she could run off. And Camille struggled. And the police was trying to put her hands in back of her and cuff her. She hollered, "No, let me go. Stop, quit, let me go." And he was like, "No, stop resisting." She's crying, she was kicking. She heard a thump. Boof! And the pressure on her arms was released. When Camille turned around, the officer was on the ground. She didn't know what had happened to him. She didn't know what nothing was. But all she knew was to run. And so she took off running. Days and days passed, she hitchhiking, sightseeing, just, doing what it was. She wasn't a scary girl. She, a lot of things didn't fear her like that. So here it is. We fast forward to the time now. She's in the car with Steve. And now she told Steve, "Let me out, let me out." Steve wasn't going to let her out. And when she went to get out the car, like I said, he locked the car door. And so she was tempted. She said, "Look, I don't have any money. I don't have anything. Please don't hurt me. Please just let me out the car, please." So, Steve right then and there turned into somebody totally different. It's like his voice kind of changed, but he really didn't. But he became mean. And he told her, "Shut the F up." She was going to get out the car when you're going to get out the car when I let you out the car. Right now, you with me. You look like a spoiled, privileged brat. And I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you. And so she was like, "What do you mean teach me? I haven't done anything to you. I haven't done anything to you. Please, sir, just let me go, let me go." Steve told her, "Shut up." And he reached over real quick and grabbed her by her slicker. And he pulled her over close to him. And he told her, "I got plans for you. I got real plans for you. You shut your mouth and be quiet, and you might live to see another day." And he pushed her back. And she scrambled back up against the car door, and she was just looking. She was scared. That's where that fear feeling came from. She was scared. Then he drove and drove and drove. And he drove to a secluded area. Camille was scared. She didn't know what was going to happen. She didn't know what was going on. And she like, "Please, sir, what are you going to do to me?" You know what I'm saying? In her mind, she figured, okay, this guy's going to rape me and kill me. She didn't know what to expect. The guy got out the car and he told her, "Look, don't play any games." Because they were in kind of like a wooded area. He told her, "Don't play no games. Don't try to lock doors or anything." He got out his side. He walked around to her side. Right as he came around the back of the car, she was just opening the door and trying to run. Because for him to get out, he had to unlock the doors. Right as she tried to run, he grabbed her. "Come here." She screamed. He hit her. Bang. "Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth." She was scared. She was so scared that her teeth were chattering. And as Steve drug her off into the bushes, he pulled out a knife. Pop, pop, and he put it to her throat. And he told her, "Look, me and you going to have a good time. and you're going to shut up and not scream. The next time you scream will be the last time. Man, all type of thoughts went through her head. She didn't know what to do. She was just so scared. As he got her into the bushes, he threw her on the ground. When he threw her on the ground, he reached down and he grabbed her raincoat, her slicker, and he pulled it, and it tore. And she looked in his face, and the face that she seen wasn't even human, it seemed to her. It just, he was just so evil to her and just wanted to hurt her. And she begged and plead, please don't hurt me, please, please, please. He told her, shut up. I do what I want to with you. Right as Camille went to scream, he put his hand over her mouth. And he kind of jugged her in her chin with the knife and drew blood. He like, I told you I'd kill you. A feeling came over Camille. She turned ice cold. She felt like she had been she had been thrown butt naked into the Arctic Ocean over in Alaska somewhere. And the water, and she was just freezing cold to the point to where her teeth started chattering. She had never felt like this before, this coldness like this. And as she felt it, she felt another feeling come on. She didn't know what the feeling was. And in her mind, she heard a voice say, I'm coming. I'm coming. She didn't know what that was. What do you mean, I'm coming? What? I'm coming. As Steve went to try to tear her clothes off her some more, a feeling of peace came over her. Like she knew she was okay. She was going to be okay. And right at that moment, Steve stopped, like he heard something. And as he turned and looked in back of him, he seen a white glowing light. A white glowing light coming toward them through the bushes, through the shrubs. And he looked, he was like, man, what the F? What is that? He looking, and he thought somebody was coming. So he jumped up with the knife in his hand. And he like, whoever you are, whatever you are, come out now. I promise you I'll kill you. Come out. Or get out of here. The light got brighter and brighter. Brighter and brighter. And when the light finally came all the way through the bushes, it was so bright, he couldn't see. This is all he could do. This is all he could do. And Camille kind of raised up and she started backpedaling on the ground. And she heard in her head, leave. Leave. She jumped up, she started running. She started running. His keys were still in the car. She jumped in the car and she took off. She was scared. She didn't know what to do. She drove and drove and drove until she ran out of gas. By that time, she took the money that she had, and she wasn't that far away. She was in Indiana, which is right next door to Chicago. She took the money she had, and she drove. And she called a Greyhound the rest of the way to Chicago. She got to Chicago. She got to her father's house, and he was glad to see her. She didn't know what to tell him, and she was just out of it. And it was late, and she told him. She said, "Dad, look, we'll talk tomorrow. Let's just talk tomorrow. I just need to rest." And he told her okay. That night, when she was laying in her bed, that feeling came over her that she had when she was a child. And when she looked, a light appeared in the middle of the room that her father gave her. And she knew it was her childhood friend when she was a child. She knew it was a friend. And she rose up in bed. She said, "You're back." And the voice in her head said, "I never left you. I never left you. You left me." She said, "Well, I'll never leave you again. You saved me. I'm glad you're back." And the voice in her head said, "I'll always be here for you." Peace.